Dear students, moving on further to the description of pests, here is the part 4 of pests. Insect pests as vectors of diseases. So, up till now, we were talking about those insects which damage the crops in field. Now, here this is a category of insects which act as vectors of diseases. So, this is another category, insect pests which cause animal diseases and insect pests which cause plant diseases. So insect pests causing animal diseases, there are insects that act as vectors of human diseases. Several of them are serious and even fatal. There are more than 150 arthropod species that harbor and transmit pathogens causing human diseases. Some of these are transmitted during their feeding, others mechanically, and still others accidentally. So it is not necessary that always it is by feeding. It could be some other method by which the insects actually they act as carriers and they transmit the diseases from one organism to another or from one place to another. These pathogens belong to nearly 8 classes, and these are Bartonetacea, Rickettsia, viruses, spirochetes, bacteria, protozoa, helminths, and Acanthocephala. Plant diseases. Insects cause diseases by transmitting microorganisms like the fungi, bacteria, and viruses in animals and, of course, in plants as well. The association of insects and microorganisms are of 3 types: accidental or casual, symbiotic, and obligatory. In accidental association, the pathogens are transmitted while insects are feeding, or when it comes in physical contact with the plants through its body surface. In symbiotic association, both microorganisms and insects are mutually benefited from one another. That is, there is an association between some species of fungi and various bark beetles. So, both that is a symbiotic association. It is not that they have come by accident in contact to one another, but the fungi and the bark beetles remain in association as a symbiotic association. In obligatory association, the microorganisms are entirely dependent on the insects for their transmission from plant to plant. For example, the hemiptera, the aphids, and viruses. Aphids are the main transmitters of viruses to the plants. So, it is a compulsion or it is mandatory, so that is obligatory, that if the virus transmission needs aphids, it cannot be transmitted of its own. The pests of stored grain. So, up till now, we have talked about the vectors of diseases and, of course, the pests or the insect which cause damage to the plants in the fields. And now, here is the pest of stored grains. Grains, cereals, and pulses are to be stored for considerable long time for human consumption. During storage, the grains, including other agricultural commodities, are subjected to various biotic and abiotic stresses. The biological stresses include the agencies like insects, rodents, birds, mites, and microbes. The abiotic stresses are moisture, temperature, storage, sanitation, types of storage bins or receptacles, etc. So, definitely, if we talk about biological stress, they have to be some related with the living organisms, whereas the abiotic with the non-living things, which could be the physical factors or which could be like storage, sanitation, and storage bins or the receptacles with the where the stored grains are kept. The scope of the present discussion is limited to insect pests that render great loss to the stored grains. There are more than 100 species of insects which are responsible for the losses. Some of these insects that are found in India are rice weevil, lesser grain borer, khapra beetle, rice moth, rust red flow beetle, that is what you all see, the tribolium, the pulse beetle, that is the Calosobruchus, khapra beetle, that is a Trogoderma, So a lot of these insects you must have definitely come across in your houses if you store wheat and rice or any kind of whole pulses like the chana, rajma, moong, moat. All these are attacked by the pulse beetle Calosobrucus species. So these are the moving on further to the destructive stages of insect pests. Now, actually, the damage is caused by a specific stage of the insect. It is not that always it is the adult insect only which is the pest, but sometimes it is different. That means the young stage is a pest and the adult is not a pest. In hemimetabola, all stages that nymphs and adults feed on their host and damage them. The reason being that the mouth parts are same in nymphs and adults. So definitely they have the same kind of feeding pattern, and because they have the same feeding habit, the damage is similar, which is caused by the nymphs and which is caused by the adults. On the other hand, in Holometabola, for example, the Lepidoptera, either larval stages or adults or both, like the Coleoptera and Diptera, cause the damage. Now, in Holometabola, where we have complete metamorphosis, we have 4 stages in the life cycle from egg, larva, pupa, and adult. So, larva and the adult have different habits, and possibly being of different habits, both could be harmful, or only one of the stages could be harmful. Say, for example, in Lepidoptera, only the larval stage is harmful, while if we talk about Coleoptera, both the stages are harmful, and similarly in Diptera, both the larva as well as the adults are harmful. Symptoms of pest attack. Symptoms of insect pest attack differ with their mode of feeding. A phytophagus, that is, which eats the plants, leaf feeder generally, it will nibble the leaves whether on the margins or on the surface that is easily visible. We can see, yes, that this has been eaten up by the insect which is feeding on it. A leaf sapsucker will produce pale specks at the points where it is punctured, whereas a sapsucker, it would just uh, it pricks the delicate part and starts sucking the sap. So only the pale specks of the little points, dots are visible, which would prove that here it was punctured, or the beak of the insect penetrated from this particular point and started sucking the sap from the plant. Such insects often excrete or secrete substance or honeydew that attracts growth of fungus on the leaf surface. This obstructs the sunlight, thereby retarding photosynthesis, resulting in reduction of yield. So it is not necessary the damage to the plant is caused directly by the insect, but sometimes it is an indirect loss, like here there is obstruction in the sunlight and which hampers photosynthesis, and therefore there is reduction in the yield. On the contrary, a stem borer will produce stunted growth, a bunchy tops, and dead hearts. Dead hearts are plants where the main central portion of the plant is eaten up and only the outermost hard covering remains behind. Say, for example, the sugar cane. You know that sugar cane, the outer hard part is of not much use, rather of no use, and but the inner soft part is eatable, and from that only we get the juice and then the sugar. So if that central part is destroyed by the insect, what is left behind is termed as a dead heart. A root borer, on the other hand, renders the mooring of the plant so weak that they can easily be pulled out by a speedy wind. A root borer, definitely, because it damages the root. So the plant can be easily pulled out, or the plant is uprooted very, very easily. Even by the wind, it can be plucked off. Fruit borers are not easily detectable since the holes made by them on the surface are soon healed up, removing all traces of their existence. So in the fruit, those who feed the insects which feed on fruit, that hole which is made by them on the surface of the fruit is healed. So it is not possible, and that is why when you bring a fruit from the market, you find it very healthy, but when you cut it and then you find, oh, this was damaged by the insect. So because from outside it is not easily detectable, but the insect has definitely destroyed the or has infected the fruit is uh, visible only when it is cut open. Such insects are only seen after cutting open the fruits. However, a technique has been developed by which the sounds produced by the growing insects could be heard, leading to their detection. Now, but then it is not possible to just uh, use this for every fruit which is being uh, bought from the market. So that is a difficult and very costly technique. Thank you. So with this, the details of the pests part 1, 2, 3, 4 ends here. Thank you.